They may be compact, but this trio offers plenty to interest small car buyers. On test are the next generation models, Ford Focus, Mazda3 and Toyota Corolla. But with equal pluses and minuses, these three may just have thrown up the closest comparison test in recent times. On the block are three similarly priced models: the brand new Mazda3 G20, Ford Focus Trend and Toyota Corolla SX. Each have front-wheel drive 5-door hatches and offer a decent level of specification with a range of technologies available. Mazda's brought its A-game when it comes to the Mazda3 interior. It feels more like a luxury car than a traditional Japanese hatchback. The dash layout and all of the cabin finishes are superb. In contrast, the Ford Focus has harder plastics and replaces the stitched interior in the Mazda with faux plastic stitching. The Corolla interior is very likeable. It's the only car to have wireless phone charging at this price point, but it does miss out on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, when even Mazda has finally joined that party. These three hatchbacks offer three very different boot spaces. It's the Focus that has the largest boot and a nice wide aperture, so it's easy to get gear in and out. In contrast, while the Corolla's boot is lower, half of it is filled with a space-saver spare, so it's quite pokey. The Mazda3's is a decent size, but there's no shopping bag hooks or tie-downs, so it's not quite as practical as the others. Each car is well equipped with steering wheel mounted gear shift paddles, autonomous emergency braking and reverse camera. Both the Corolla SX and Mazda3 G20 have adaptive cruise, push button start and dual zone climate control. These are features which are only available on more expensive Focus models. Quality of technology integration is very high in the Mazda3. It's the only car with a head-up display, which is super rare at this price point, and adaptive digital display. And the quality of its camera is head and shoulders above the other two. But the Mazda3 is not perfect. It offers the least headroom in the rear, meaning rear seat passengers' heads are very close to the side of the car. At least it does have rear seat air vents, which are missing in the other two. While the Ford Focus might not have rear air vents, there is plenty of room to move for rear seat passengers. It feels like a much more spacious vehicle, and that's really helped out by this light coloured headlining. It just feels an airy place to be. And the Corolla might feel a bit bigger than the Mazda3, but it's not as accommodating for rear seat passengers with little storage in the doors. And there's some differences when it comes to how these vehicles are powered. Mazda and Toyota favour a 4-cylinder 2-litre petrol engine, whereas Ford has gone for a downsized unit. It's a 3-cylinder 1.5-litre turbo petrol. The result is quite a difference in power, which is very noticeable when behind the wheel. Now, it may be down one cylinder, but the Ford Focus delivers the most potent engine and transmission combination. The little 3-cylinder unit is incredibly responsive, and it's really well matched to a sharp-shifting 7-speed automatic transmission. And that translates to confident overtaking and delivers the most engaging drive of all three. Running a close second for drivability, if not outright performance, is the Toyota Corolla. Toyota engineers are to be congratulated when it comes to the continuously variable transmission. It's generations ahead of previous CVTs, but does a really good job at mimicking conventional transmission changes. Add the paddle shifters and I could almost be a CVT convert. Toe-to-toe with the Focus and Corolla, the Mazda3's driveline is definitely its Achilles heel. While it has had extensive reworks in the design and technology field, its engine is unchanged from its predecessor and it feels sluggish in comparison to the other cars. The old-style 6-speed box can be slow to downshift, and combined with poor mid-range torque, it does mean that the Mazda3 struggles when under load. Riding on the largest wheel of all three, an 18-inch alloy, the Mazda has a hard ride too, and doesn't do a great job of riding out harsh bumps, which are more easily absorbed by both the Corolla and the Focus. So, three different small cars, each with their own pros and cons. Which should you choose? If space and drivability are important to you, then the Ford Focus delivers, even though it misses out on features at this price. The Corolla is a smart choice if value, resale and a perky drive are at the top of your list. But if you carry plenty of gear around, then it's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. And the Mazda 3, well, for the newest car of the lot, it isn't perfect either. Given how these cars are likely to be driven in day-to-day life, however, perhaps zesty performance is low on the Mazda 3 buyer's wish list. Mazda clearly believes it's bells, whistles, trinkets and luxe feel that matters to its buyers. And on that front, it's really delivered. It's definitely got the best cabin finish of all three cars. Choosing a winner was not easy. The Focus doesn't quite have the gear, the Corolla doesn't quite have the boot space, and the Mazda 3 has a very pedestrian drive experience. But we have to pick a winner, and by the very narrowest of margins, we think the Mazda 3 just has the edge. Its level of detail is high, and we think that buyers will overlook its engine shortcomings when it comes to its overall fit, finish and design.